Voyager Shamayim here. A lot of you may know the instrumental to the song. Who did it? You see that? Custom made Voyager Shamayim. Cross the Christ on the back. Custom made. And her name is Misha Nichols. You can find her on Facebook. And the name of her company is Impact Mugs. So if you want your mugs made, all right, you want your mugs made, you can contact her there on Facebook. M-I-C-H-A. Last name is, I think her last name is Nicholas. Nicholas. Or just type in Impact Mugs, and she makes these custom made. All right, and also this custom made prayer throw. Her mother makes it as well. All right, here we go. Now, there's this guy, this rapper from New York, from Brooklyn, same neighborhood actually that I'm living in right now, called Pop Smoke. Up and coming rapper, most known for his UK drill sound and flow, and most definitely the beats. This is a movement that is going on in New York real heavy right now, which is a UK drill. It's not new, but it's new to us in New York, because obviously UK, United Kingdom, is a particular genre of sound and genre of beats, and genre of, it's just a whole style that comes from over the UK, the gritty streets of the UK, the United Kingdom. And Pop Smoke, this young man was murdered yesterday, I believe it was the 19th, in Hollywood Hills, California. At first it was unclear as to what happened, how did he get murdered, what was the motive, because he was shot and killed, most definitely. And, excuse me, sorry y'all, he was most definitely killed. Some of you may not know who the heck this guy is. He also did a very popular song called Welcome to the Party. And you might have heard the voice and was like, whoa, who is that? Tell him welcome to the party. Huh? I can't play the song here because my video might get blocked. But very popular song, very raspy voice. And it's so unfortunate, come to find out, the man was only 20 years old. He was only 20 years old. And most definitely, it was a B&E, a break and enter, breaking and entering. But as the story progressed and more information began to come out, we see that it was a targeted hit. In other words, they came there specifically to kill him, because based on the camera footage, and they didn't run out with nothing, take anything, and they only shot and killed one person. So it seems like it is gang related somehow of the sort. More stuff is coming out. I guess we're going to find out more information about what it is. But like I said, you may not know who the heck this person is, especially if you have the older crowd. You may be wondering why I'm mentioning about him, because there's some things that Father revealed to me that I want to broadcast and share here, because I do believe his death is very significant. It's interesting because last night while I was at work, I noticed as I was ordering some food for lunch. I work overnights, so that was really this morning, really, but like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock this morning. I noticed that the date was 02/20/2020, February the 20th in the year 2020. Pop Smoke is 20 years old. I was telling my sister last night or last evening that, and I learned this from my African brothers, Every individual that is born has a star. I'll put it in my own words. Has a star. Excuse me, y'all. Something really bothering my nose. I think it's this incense. Hold on. My bad. It's getting on my darn nerves.
Internet and TV from Optimum for only $64.99 a month for 2 years guaranteed. Click now.
And I don't need to be distracted. I need to flow in the spirit. Yeah, I was telling my sister that I learned from my African brothers that every person that is born has a star that is over their life. And how I would put it, has a star that rules in their life. I won't say rule over, but rules in their life, influencing their destiny and their purpose. I'm not even going to say that it's astrology, but there is definitely a major and obvious connection between the two concepts. Astrology is more so, there's dealing with seasons and times and certain times of the year, certain times where the sun is here, the moon is there, there's a particular star that's overhead, definitely when you are born, and that is some of the energy that you will move in. But the concept from the Africans is more, I would say, even more of a personal thing. And when you put that in perspective, there are like a innumerable amount of stars, and some are bigger than Earth. So watch this. Every person is born with a star over their head. Isn't it obvious that the stars in our galaxy are in outer space? Some are small, medium, some are large, some are very large, right? So be that as it may, everyone is born with a star over their head. There goes my star up top. Star over their head. That's why you got people that are unknown. You got people that are known, popular. You got stars, or celebs as some call them. And what else? You have superstars. Now, I'm not going to jump to conclusions and say that his death has something to do with the Illuminati or the occult. It might, but I don't think so, because normally when there's a connection between some kind of secret society and your death, normally because you're doing something or getting ready to do something that goes against their agenda. But when you are a part of the agenda, they don't really sacrifice you unless they have to have a reason why. The reason must be, there's some energy or something about you that they want to steal. And in order to get it, they have to spill your blood for it and, possibly give it to someone else, or someone will sacrifice you in exchange so that they can be famous. Don't want to get too deep into it. I don't want to attract certain energies, but I'm covered under the blood of Christ. I'm covered in the presence of God. So I must speak. I don't see that, because as far as I'm concerned, Pop Smoke was a rapper and doing what rappers do. So I'm saying a whole lot without saying it. So I don't see where the Illuminati would be taking him out. It doesn't line up to me right now as it is. But possibly this man had a very large star over his head. So when these people, many of them are initiated witches. Some of them are connected to very, very powerful and high level occultists. They can see that in the spiritual realm. They can see that huge star over your head. Case in point, the Bible says it was a big star, right, that followed or moved with the wise men to lead them to where Jesus was. Which it wasn't a star, to be honest. It was one of God's flying spacecraft. I won't say chariot, because that's the only word they used that they could think, because a chariot was a means of transportation. It was a vehicle. They had no other word. But it was God's spacecraft. And normally these spacecraft, I don't want to get off topic, some are metallic, some are odd shaped, some are saucer shaped. Some emit such an energy and a frequency and a light that it appears as a moving star. But it is actually something physical. It's just the energy and the electromagnetic energy that's coming off of it It's very bright. It gleams. It's like fire. You know, that's how the Bible describes it. But it's really a spacecraft. Um, the spacecraft, Christ had a big star over his head, a huge star that moved. You see what I'm saying? So possibly this man had a huge star over his head somewhere down the line. They're like, no, we got to take this guy out because he can make some changes. He can influence the the culture. And as far as I know, no disrespect to any other rappers that flow in the UK drill, as far as I know, he is the only rapper or the first rapper I've seen with that style. Me, that's he introduced me. I'm not saying he started it, but his music was the one that introduced me to that UK style of rap, and he seemed to be, as far as America's concerned, one of the most popular with that style. So that's going to garner hate. That's going to garner jealousy. And plus, he was a gang member. He was a Crip gang member. I don't know what set he was from. So they're saying could have been gang related and so forth. That's another thing that may cause you lose your life is your gang affiliation. And then you're in the West Coast, home of, Crips and Bloods. You have to be very, very careful out there. It's not like New York. New York over here, you got Crips that hang out with Bloods. In California, they don't play that. They take that very seriously. You have second and third generation gang bangers. That mean like I'm a gang member, my daddy and my mother was, and my grandparents were gang members. So they take that culture very seriously. They'll live and die for that. They don't play that. Sometimes you go in the wrong neighborhood, you might get shot if they think you're from another hood. Most definitely wearing the wrong colors. So you can't go over there with that, style and just be flashy and think it's going to be all sweet. So we don't really know why he died, but I do think, again, there is something very significant about his death. And then seeing as how today is the date 02202020. There's something going on. There's something going on in the atmosphere. There's something going on in the heavenlies that we need to take a closer look at and pay attention to. Something else the Spirit brought to my remembrance. You can say this is too deep or superstitious if you want to. Yeah, that's your problem. If I were you, as you can see, I took my locks down and I put back braids. If I were you, I would not even wear the particular braiding style that he has had, that he wears. You know what I'm talking about. I would not put that particular style of braid in my head if I were you. In remembrance of him, if I were you again, for spiritual reasons, and I wouldn't put no tattoos on my body of his face, and his name, Pop Smoke. I am trying to discourage you from doing that. Why? Because there is a lot of energy that is going on around this young man's death. You don't want to get caught up in the energy of it. You may not think that there's a connection. Ain't not going to happen to me. I'm not a gang member. Listen to Voyager. Don't do it for a while until it dies down. So do not put his particular braid style in your hair for the time being, and do not put any tattoos on your body. Let that energy die down for a while, for some time before you do that, because it is still volatile in the atmosphere, in the realm of the spirit. We have to be very careful, very mindful. The enemy is not playing any games. He wants our young people, and he sees that they have very great and bright stars over their life. And it's either he wants to capture it or to snuff it out. He'll try to capture it, use it for his evil, wicked devices, steal your star, or he tries to snuff you out because he sees wherein there will be potential for you to get saved, lead souls to Christ, lead souls to true spiritual enlightenment, which is through Jesus Christ. He does not want the opportunity. This is why he will take you out. Obviously, Tupac had a bright star over his head. I'm not so sure about Biggie, but clearly Tupac was the out of the two, um, way more versatile. He had more topics that he could talk about. He had a greater range of emotion that he could put in his music. So people connected with Tupac much more than Biggie. Biggie was like, that street rapper, but Tupac was the poet. So he had so many different topics to talk about. But Tupac obviously had a great start. But in my personal opinion, I think that in my personal opinion, I think that he had a greater connection with people. I think that he got caught up with the wrong crowd of people. This is what I think. I'm recording. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking is that he got caught up with the wrong people, and that caused him to lose his life. That caused him to become taken out. Because I see where the personality change started happening in his personal life, where it left more of the black conscious, let's uplift our people, let's do better for the hood, to more of this gangster, thugged out, smoke weed, F&Bs, or hoes, and gang banging. You start seeing that change in his character and in his spirit. And it just started leading down the road. Plus, another thing, he kept on prophesying his death. We have to understand how powerful word is. Music is a part of the prophetic realm. So you can tap into a prophetic realm and be prophesying while you're rapping, prophesying while you're singing, and don't even know it. Case in point, many of these rappers before they got to where they got, they was in the projects, they was in the law of the low, and they was rapping as if they had, the cars and the monies and the hoes before they actually had it. Why? But they were using their visualization. They were using the power of the prophetic and the music and to get what they want to get. So this thing is real powerful. And when I start looking at some of this young man's videos, there's the pictures of him getting robbed. There's the pictures of him, getting held at gunpoint. I said, this is so interesting. You don't understand how powerful you are. As the earth continues on its journey, the people, the vibration of the people, the vibration of the younger kids that are coming up is much, much stronger. Things are happening at a much more accelerated rate. Okay, so it's not taking as long as it used to. Things are on an accelerated path, an accelerated drive. So we have to be very mindful of the culture that we're getting caught up in. We have to get very mindful of what it is we're following, what it is we're emulating. Don't get into it because you don't know what the enemy has, caught up and set up for these type of things. So these are the things that we need to start looking into when these deaths begin to happen. We had Nipsey, we had Juice WRLD, we had Kobe, and now we have Pop Smoke. I think all within a year or a year's space of time as far as the months are concerned. And I have a feeling that 2020 is not done yet. So there is something in the astral, something in the spiritual that is moving and shaking, and it's moving and happening really, really fast, really, really volatile. So be careful. So once again, the two prophetic warnings I have for you as an individual, if you are a huge fan of this person's music, do not put his particular braid style in your hair. You'll see the pictures. There's a particular type of braid style that he wears. Do not put that style in your hair for a while, for a number of months until this energy dies down. I'm just saying it so that you can be protected prophetically. If you have that style in your hair, take it out. I don't necessarily have that style in my hair because I have box braids, even though I have a middle part. Okay? If you have it in your hair, take it out. What I would say is also do not put any tattoos on your skin with this person's face or their name or lyrics of the song for a while along the same thinking and along the same vibration of what I'm saying to you earlier. So that's my take on the whole Pop Smoke situation and what I felt the Lord wanted me to share concerning his death. All right, so please, guys, be safe. If you're not saved in Jesus Christ, please accept Christ as your Lord and Savior now. You do not know what's before you. You don't know. You don't know. He didn't know he was going to die that day. He did know, according to some text message that I saw, that there was a particular type of energy that was following him, beef that was following him, and it kept, showing up in his life. So he knew at some point there was going to be a run in. But unfortunately, he didn't know that this run in was actually going to cost him his life. So I prayers to the family. That's all I can do is prayer to the family, condolences to the family and his fans and friends. We got to be safe out here. So this has been Voyager Shemayim, standing in the presence of the Lord, giving you this prophetic message and just giving you my thoughts on this whole situation from a prophetic standpoint and God's standpoint. All right. So please, everyone, if you're watching me on YouTube, which you probably are, like this video, share it on all your platforms, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you can get all my notifications. I'm going to try to be more current with some of the topics that are going on in the world, not so much the church world, but I'm definitely going to bring the flavor of Christ. I'm definitely going to bring the prophetic into it and let you know what it is I'm feeling from the Spirit of God concerning what's going on in our world. We live in our world. It doesn't mean we have to be caught up and just swallowed by the world, but we must be current and also know the mind of God concerning what is going on in our world, because what is going on in our world affects our world as well. So this is Voyager Shemayim again. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Peace. I'll talk to you next time. I'll talk to you later. God bless, fam. Shalom.